Finally, it happened to me right in front of my face. Devin Haney finally responds. I don't even know why I just did that. Y'all got to excuse me. The best in the business, and it's not even close. Devin Haney finally responds to Eddie Hearn constantly throwing him under le bus. In a brand new interview, Devin speaks his mind on that whole situation, what happened with Eddie Hearn. Stay tuned. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I am back with some more boxing. For more boxing news, 24/7 daily, subscribe. I got y'all. Brand new interview with Box King Media. Devin spoke on the Eddie Hearn relationship. Roll the clip.
Obviously, you won the fight, and obviously you've still had criticism. Obviously, somebody who was your promoter before, I think in the past he's named you the face of boxing, but he's now saying you're not good to watch. So you tell me, is that because of the fact that you left him, or is it a case of like he's got Conor Ben? What do you think it is?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't leave him. Our contract ran out, and that's what it was.
What's up with Devin's voice? He sounds like a demon or something. They got to get their microphones sorted. It's like they put like some auto tune on his voice. He's like, "It's not that the contract ran out." You know, he sound like one of those episodes of Vice where they had like the credit card scammers, and they in the dark you just see a silhouette, or like people who are talking about how they used to work with the mob and the mafia and the cartels, but they don't want their face and voice to be on camera, so it'd be like, working with the Mexican cartels, we realized that Americans at the border. That's how they got that boy sound.
Track ran out, and that's what it was. Eddie Hearn has said a lot of things, over the years. He said that I couldn't take a punch. He said that that Norman would beat me. He said that I like to outprice myself. He just said a lot of different.
Devin's stutter sounds bad. I don't know if that's part of the Mayweather starter kit, but he like, yeah, whoop, yeah, when I wanna. It just sounds real stuttery, choppy.
Or is it a case of like he's got Conor Ben? What do you think it is?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't leave him. Our contract ran out, and that's what it was. Eddie Hearn has said a lot of things, over the years. He said that I couldn't take a punch. He said that that Norman would beat me. He said that I like to outprice myself. He just said a lot of different things over the years. And it just shows his character. When I was with him, he was saying one thing, and now that I'm not with him anymore, he's saying another. But that's how these promoters do. Once they cannot make money off of you or capitalize off of you anymore, they turn sour. And and it's nothing new. This is not the first time that Eddie has done that, and it won't be the last.
Who is next for you? Who do you want next? Have you got any, apart if it's not Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, I want to fight the best fighters in the world. I want to unify the division.
Bro, welterweight division right now is trash. Like, I challenge anybody to tell me recent memory, 20, 25 years, when the welterweight division was worse, like the welterweight picture. Because you remember back in the day, like HBO, Showtime, they would be like the welterweight picture, like HBO, ESPN, all them channels, right? And it would show Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, blah, blah, blah. Before that, it would show like Mayweather, Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, Robert Guerrero, maybe Adrian Broner, Maidana. You know what I mean? Name a time where the welterweight division looked this dry. Like, I feel like it's not going to be reinvigorated until the new Gen Z fighters who are not really fighting at their weight class at 140 move up, like Keyshawn, Teofimo, Ryan Garcia. Well, he kind of is moving up to 47, but, people like that, Gary Antoine Russell, whoever, when they move up from 140, then you'll start to see more people fill out, or unless some new person comes about. But something is needed because 47 is dry, but keep cooking.
So any one of those guys, any one of those champions, I would love to fight.
There's another young fighter in the UK who's calling your name out the other week, Adam Azim. I don't know if you've seen him or seen much of him. He was calling your name out as well.
Yeah, I mean he fought my friend Scooby, and he was victorious. You know, he's a Muslim like me, so I got nothing but respect for him. You know, he's calling my name, and you know, I respect that. You know, at a point I was in the same position as him. You know, calling out the top guys of the sport. So I understand where he's coming from. But you know, I want to fight the best fighters in the world. You know, right now he doesn't have nothing for me to gain off of. He's not a big name in the sport yet. Not saying that he won't be. You know, inshallah he will be one day. He doesn't have a belt right now. You know, so it's just pointless for me. But you know, you never know. In the future, you know, it may be a big fight.
You can see why Bill Haney domineered the interviews and do most of the talking. Devin, for as long as he's been in the game, he sounds kind of shaky on the mic. I don't know if that's like the Ryan Garcia fight residual, but he sounds really like choppy. Like we know. Like, I don't know if y'all picked up on that, but that's that. Anyway, the reality is welterweight is cooked, bro. There's not really good fights at welterweight division currently, right now. It is what it is. And one thing that I'm noticing early from Bill and Devin Haney that I don't know how this is going to work. You're a champion. You beat Brian Norman. You did your thing. Different people felt different ways. I didn't particularly have a problem with it. The back half of the fight was kind of dry, but better than the Ramirez fight. You move on. Cool. Other people, a little bit more harsh, like you got Eddie Hearn and stuff. He was like the whole front row was falling asleep and it was super boring, blah, blah, blah. Cool. So off that performance, at best, it's a mixed bag, even though you're a champion. And Bill and Devin keep saying that almost everybody is not worthy, right? Adam Aziz, of course, a UK reporter is going to ask about UK fights and all that. You know the drill. And he's like, he's a Muslim, so I don't have nothing bad to say about him, but he don't offer me nothing. So it's like worthless. It's a useless fight. But then Conor Ben is another opportunity, which to me makes probably more sense than Adam Aziz at this time. But they said the same thing. Conor ain't got no belt. He ain't got no belt. He don't have nothing to offer me. So it's like you're in a dry division and you're talking about you want to be the man, undisputed or unified in the division. Per recent boxing news, we know that is not going to happen anytime soon because Rolly, champion, is likely to fight against Pacquiao. I believe my fight with Floyd, right? That's likely to happen. Ryan has come out and showed him signing a contract for fighting Barrios. So, were you just going to wait till Ryan Barrios outcome? Because you already said Adam Aziz don't really make sense. They don't offer nothing. Conor Ben don't make sense. These are available people. Adam Aziz just knocked out Kurt Scooby, right? He just knocked him out. Conor Ben just beat, for the family crest or whatever, Chris Eubank. Barrios, Ryan, not available. Shakur, Teofimo, they just got announced, not available. Conor Ben's available. Adam Aziz is available. So it's like Devin, his head looks huge. Like Barry Bonds, like the man's head looks huge. He looked big like a week or so after the Brian Norman fight. It looked like Devin really should low-key be at 154 pounds. Go watch this interview. He looked big, right? So 154 would be a better division for real based on the talent that's up there. You can fight Jermell, Boots, all these types of fights. But it's kind of dry. What are you going to fight? Who are you going to fight? Who can Devin fight that is available? Not Ryan, not Barrios, not Pitbull, not Lamont Roach, and those guys are at 140 anyway. Not Pacquiao or Rolly. And then the other champion from 47, the UK dude, nobody wants to see that. So I don't know what Devin's almost in between a rock and a hard place because the welterweight division is so dry. With Boots moving out of it, that was your other big fight. Or if Keith Thurman was still at 47, that could be a good fight. but he's at 54. They'll probably reschedule the Fundora fight before anything. You know what I mean? So it's like Devin is just going to have to play, I guess, a waiting game. Welterweight, I mean, you're going to fight Lewis Crocker in the UK? Lewis Crocker, that he's available, but who's asking for that? And then the other thing is Lewis Crocker is an available Irish name or whatnot, but nobody really need to see that. For real, for real. Nobody's really asking for that. And the other issue is Devin Haney, I don't know what his deal is with Turkey, but he's probably requesting a lot of money and wants a good pretty penny. I don't know if you're going to get that fighting Lewis Crocker level people. I don't know who's paying you that type of money for fights that are uneventful. Like Shakur, he got a fight in his first fight at 140, Teofimo, to get that bag, right? So we'll see what Turkey and them have in store, but it looks like there might be some musical chairs or something got to give because the welterweight picture is so bad. As far as the Eddie Hearn part, I mean, notice Devin Haney got more smoke for other fighters, black fighters and stuff like that, than he does a Caucasian British dude, Eddie Hearn, who's been bad-mouthing him left, right, and center. He's just like, man, Eddie, he's a promoter. Promoter's going to be kind of like what Crawford did with Bob Arum. It's so funny that these guys let these promoters talk crazy about him, but then if a YouTuber talks crazy about him or says something they don't like, not even talks crazy, if a YouTuber says something that is not stroking their ego or like yes man behavior, these boxers, these new generation of boxers, they be getting peeved and mad and upset and angry and blocking the YouTuber. But then you at the same spots as Eddie Hearn and he talking crazy, and you don't really say nothing to him. Or you do an interview and you don't just like unleash the fury on Eddie Hearn, and he been denigrating your brand for a minute since the Ryan Garcia fight. Funny how that works. It is what it is. This is who you were formerly signed to. Deal with it.